Hey everyone, this is Nick from Film Snobbery. I'm here day 2 at the FirstGlance Film Festival at the Colonial Theater here in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, 25th annual festival. I am here with
Sarah Oliva.
And what film are you here with tonight?
Lioness.
Lioness. Thank you for coming out.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, tell me a little bit, and me, really them, because they're not here. Tell me about Lioness.
Well, Lioness was based on partially, it was inspired by when I was volunteering at a safe house, which is an undisclosed domestic violence shelter for women. And it was just about a 10-second thing that I happened to see, and it just unraveled in all of these images. And this short is a film. It's a testament to all of these lionesses.
Yeah. And, I only know this because I heard you talking about it. Not a lot of dialogue in the movie.
No, there isn't. There's actually, and I had to think about this, there's one line, and that's it.
How many takes did it take to get that?
You know what's funny? I did the line. The other actors, we kind of did but she was fantastic. So she got the line. And believe it or not, even just writing that line took a while.
Yeah?
Because it's just one, so you want to get it right. But, yeah, but it worked out beautifully. The young girl is just wonderful.
That's fantastic. Now, tell me a little bit about the production itself. I mean, how many days were you actually in production on this?
Well, we shot it during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
We did it in Florida, and it was about maybe a little less than 48 hours, and we shot the entire thing in one room in a motel. That's it. It was us and about, I think we had a crew of, we probably had the shortest credits. They're like 5 seconds long. It was, I think, 4 or 5 women, 1 male, very tight crew, and yeah.
I'm guessing this is the first time that the people in a motel in Florida have seen a camera crew going into a hotel room and have not actually had to worry about the outcome.
Oh no, that never happened.
Yeah, no, never. That's great. So, how did you kind of discover the cast for this?
That's a great. I didn't know anybody. I actually met, with the exception of the director who I met like a couple weeks before, Molly E. Smith, who's phenomenal. On the day of the set, when we walked on set.
Oh, wow.
Because everything was in the pandemic, so the little girl, Lily Jane, also astonishing, she came recommended by the director. But we really searched, and, Molly said, this actress is wonderful, and she was right. Listen to your director.
Listen to the director, people. Now, how about some of the challenges in terms of the production? Because it sounds like, getting the location, getting everyone out, even during the pandemic, it seemed like the pandemic being the major challenging factor. Was there anything else that kind of popped up?
Yes. Well, first of all, Florida, so you have weather.
You have weather.
So we had to contend with that. And I chose this location about 2 years earlier. I didn't know what the story was, but I was like, you walk in this particular room, it's just a very strange room.
Mm-hmm.
It happened to be, there was a place where there was a lot of illegal activity,
yes.
a lot of drug usage.
Right. We call it Florida.
We call it Florida.
Yeah.
And but unfortunately, there were overdoses there.
Oh, wow.
And only 1 survived out of the 3. And so everything you hear in the film, the ambulances, the dogs, the police, that's all unfolding in real time.
Oh, that's interesting. So
everything
you were able to almost get to some degree, free production value based on just the reality of being live when it's happening.
It really was. I mean, seeing our sound designer, Kelly Wills, she just, it was very...
I was going to say, did she freak out and go like, oh my God, is also she go like, oh no, we can use this? Like
the second one, we can
great.
use this. I need everybody to be quiet. And, we felt safe, but we really were in a bubble. And our priority was also the young actress, Lily Jane,
Sure.
making sure that she was safe. But, and I said this before, it kind of embeds itself.
Mm-hmm.
So we just stood it. Well, all this was happening. We stayed in our room, and when it was time to go, we couldn't get out of there fast enough.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was your background leading up to this? That was a thing.
Tried to make a cameo.
Yeah, right? What was your background leading up to this this particular film? You know, what were you working on prior to this?
Stage.
Stage.
I was primarily a stage actress, and then the pandemic happened, and then we did Zoom theater, which
How does that work?
do we have time? Is that in this interview? Because we could talk about Zoom theater.
Oh, we could talk about Zoom theater.
It's very, you know, not my taste, but I really admire all the artists that were like, we're going to make this and create. But I really, you know, you want to create your own stuff.
Right.
And that's something I wish I knew when I was younger. Create your own stuff. You want to get something done, write it, create it, tell the story, because nobody else is going to tell it as well as you.
That's true.
So I just had that idea. I was like, this is the time, and it happened.
And also, it's almost like you're waiting for permission to do something.
Yeah.
That right time never comes, you know, and I think the pandemic taught a lot of people in the creative industry that of like, I am now in a position where something is telling me I physically can't do something. Before I had every excuse in the world that maybe was not really an excuse. It was my own insecurity or it was something else telling me not to do something. But now something is actually preventing me from doing it. And I realized just how bullshit those excuses actually were.
100%.
You know?
100%. And but now it's thrilling because there's so many like me that are like, oh, screw this. We got to create. Like, I'm not going to just sit on my ass, and, you know?
Yeah.
And they're creating stuff and seeing what's coming out of this pandemic. It's thrilling.
Yeah. Did you feel that the pandemic did make you just in general more prolific, in whether it was writing or anything else? Because what else was there to do at the time? Like you had all this stuff just kind of popped up in your head, and you know, aside from the actual creating of this film, you know, you have all these things, you know, in your head, and you're just like, and now there's just no one to tell them to, or there's nowhere to kind of put it out to.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's like I'm a mix of ambition and laziness, I feel like at times. So
I understand that entirely.
So I get caught up. I'd be like, now's the time. Literally nothing is happening. Like, this is the time to do stuff. So, yeah, it kind of did, now that I'm thinking about it, feels like ages ago, but I feel like, yes, things just sort of vomited out, and it's a matter of just putting it together and keep going.
Nice. Was there anything specific about the FirstGlance Film Festival that kind of said to you, I kind of want to be here? I want to go to there.
Yeah, well, I mean, technical stuff. I mean, just like how the promotion, how everything was done, and I thought it was just, and I know it sounds like it's like, oh, well, that's a nitpicky technical thing, but it makes a difference.
It does make a difference.
It makes a difference, and I recognize some of the films as well from other festivals. So I was an admirer, but I just, you know what? I think this is one of those things where it's like I just knew.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a festival I want to go to, and I've never been to Phoenixville. Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it here. I mean, I've only been here for like
it is really nice.
2 hours.
Yeah,
2 hours.
right.
But I'm so happy to be here. Everything has just been great from start to finish.
And actually, that's it. Your movie just screened.
It literally just screened.
Literally just screened. How did it look? How did it look? How did it sound? Tell me about your experience here at the majestic Colonial Theater.
Honestly, this is now because we're in the end of our festival run.
Yes.
And you kind of never get tired of it, but you kind of are sort of like,
yeah, no,
it's long. And I was telling you this earlier, the picture, the sound. I mean, it was like it was like the first or second time again.
That's great.
I was having like the same feelings and seeing a new audience. You never get tired of that.
Fantastic.
Ever.
Well, that said, before you get mobbed by all your admirers.
Oh yes, there they all are. None of you can see them.
No, of course not. But there's literally tens of people here. Tens of people
that no one can see.
That no one can see. I can see them, and that's why we have a problem. But I want to thank you for coming down to the festival and taking the time to chat with us here on the red carpet.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
And thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.